Alright guys, back to this 316 project. So, I don't know if I had this on last time. New fuel pump, an electric one, so I'm not dealing with that vacuum. New carburetor, new points and condenser, and new spark plugs. So everything should be fine. If you guys remember last time, it would run on starting fluid, but it just wouldn't stay running. So I replaced the carburetor. It was like 30 bucks for that or something. So it was cranking over way too easy, and then there was gas shooting out of all these holes at the top here. So I did a leak down test, and both sides air was coming out of the carburetor. So pulled this cover off, and I did cycle the engine over a couple of times. Intake valve is stuck. I'm assuming it's going to be stuck on the other side too. So we're going to try to mess around with this, see if we can't get it to close, move around on its own. So right now I'm going to spray some, we've got a mix of kerosene and ATF. I'm going to spray in there, see if I can't loosen it up. I'm just confused as to why it would have seized up. It was fine for about 20 years now, and then as soon as I let it sit for like a year after working on it, decides it doesn't want to move. So see if we can't get this thing freed up. Okay, I sprayed that one, gave it a little smack with the end of the pliers, see if it'll stay. Okay, that's good. One side down, I'll put this one back together and then get the other side off, and then see if we can't fire it up. Alright, here's the left side cylinder. Same thing. Can't crank it over right now because the ground's off, but I'm going to give that a little smack with the plier handle, see if it'll free it up. Alright, so this left side didn't want to move at all, so I just put this thing at top dead center, put the head back on, and then sprayed that ATF kerosene mix down in there. So it should be soaked up enough around that the intake valve that hopefully overnight it'll free up a little bit. Come back tomorrow, drain this shit out, and then see if we can't get it to move. So I let that cook for 2 days. It came back this morning, it still didn't want to budge, so I sprayed it a little bit and gave it a little tap with a dead blow, and went back in, cycled the engine over, and the valve was staying out. So after I smacked it back in a couple of times, it looks all right now. So put the head back on, change the oil, see if we can't get this thing to fire up. Run. Just for ha-has, I turned this thing over to see if it would run. It runs. The only problem is the governor linkage is not happy at all, so this thing's just absolutely screaming when you start it up. But you mess around with that by hand, and the RPMs come down to what I assume is the normal operating RPM. It sounds about right. It runs really well. I'm thoroughly surprised. So I'm gonna order 2 new head gaskets, new throttle linkage, new governor linkage if I can find that too, and then that should be about it, and this thing's about done. Just got to wire up the hour meter to a relay, and then find a strap for the battery, and that's about it. Do an oil change. I'm gonna do a couple of oil changes actually, because that ATF mix is down in the bottom now. So drain that out, change the oil when I get the new head gaskets in, and then we'll do a kerosene flush after that too. So almost done.